What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Let's start it with our first news. Aljamain Sterling has recently faced significant backlash following his comments about Tom Aspinall's controversial fight with Cyril Gane. Sterling stated that he believed Aspinall was clearly losing the fight and may have exaggerated the severity of the eye poke that ultimately ended the bout. Many fans quickly called him out, accusing him of hypocrisy, reminding him that he himself won the UFC bantamweight title by disqualification when Petr Yan landed an illegal knee. In response to the criticism, Sterling released a new video to clarify his stance and defend his perspective. He began by acknowledging the backlash but stood firm on his opinion. "I made some comments on the Aspinall fight and how he handled the situation with the foul," Sterling said. "I think my opinion still stands. People might not like the messenger because of my own past, but that doesn't make what I said invalid." Sterling went on to explain his own experience being fouled and the lasting scrutiny he has received because of it. "People think I milked the injury when Yan hit me with that illegal knee, but I didn't," he explained. "I've clarified this multiple times. I had a bad rehydration, I got blasted in the head, and I barely knew where I was. It looked bad, I understand that, but the fact remains, I was hurt. Most of you have never been hit with a knee you didn't see coming. It hurts like hell, and the referee saved me from myself." Addressing the Aspinall situation, Sterling explained why he believed the fight was called off the way it was. "When Tommy got poked in the eye, the first thing he said was, 'I cannot see.' The moment you say that, the referee is obligated to stop the fight. That's how the rules are written," he said. "I don't know how bad the injury was, and I never questioned Tom's integrity. I just made a comment on what I saw." He emphasized that he wasn't attacking Aspinall personally, but rather reflecting on how similar situations are judged differently depending on who's involved. "I like to make fun of certain situations because I've been unfairly criticized for years," Sterling said. "People called me every name in the book when I got hit illegally, even though I had no control over it." Sterling concluded by reiterating his respect for Aspinall's decision to stop fighting after the foul. "You can't fight compromised like that," he said. "I'm glad Tom made the right call, just like the referee made the right call for me. A busted nose, a tough fight, it happens. My comments weren't meant to disrespect him, just to point out what I observed. You might not like that I'm the one saying it, but the logic behind it still stands." Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out, and ensures you'll never miss an update. Moving on to another news, former UFC bantamweight champion TJ Dillashaw has weighed in on the controversy surrounding Tom Aspinall's recent fight with Cyril Gane, and his comments have sparked intense debate among fans. According to Dillashaw, Aspinall may have exaggerated the severity of the eye poke that ended the bout, suggesting that the heavyweight could have continued fighting but chose not to. During a recent appearance, Dillashaw analyzed the fight in detail, breaking down what he saw as a clear momentum shift before the foul occurred. "Gane was picking his shots better," Dillashaw explained. "He was seeing the openings, staying composed, and being a lot more calculated than Tom Aspinall. Aspinall's style is more about rushing forward, throwing power shots, and overwhelming his opponent, but Gane was circling, controlling the distance, and landing clean counters. That's why I think Aspinall didn't come back from that eye poke." When asked if he truly believed Aspinall chose not to continue on purpose, Dillashaw elaborated on his reasoning. "First and foremost, it was definitely a foul. Gane's the one to blame for that," he clarified. "But from the optics of it, the way it looked in the moment, Tom's eye was already closed when he got poked. He kept saying he couldn't see, but he didn't even try to open the eye or test it. I don't know, man, I wasn't there, but when you see the photos afterward, his eye looks fine." Dillashaw went on to compare the situation to other fighters who have endured similar or worse fouls. "I've seen guys take full fingers to the eye and still fight on," he said. "So, I'm not saying I know for sure, but it looked to me like maybe he took the easier way out. It's a no contest. He gets to come back, gets paid, and doesn't have a loss on his record." The former champion also pointed out the financial aspect of the situation, implying that the outcome still benefited Aspinall. "He probably still made his $3 million, Dillashaw said. "Once you step inside that octagon, you get paid. Even if it ends early or there's a no contest, depending on the contract, fighters still get their money. Some guys have win bonuses, but others have flat fees, and and if it's a flat deal, you get paid regardless. Dillashaw's comments came during a discussion with other fighters, some of whom disagreed with his take. When asked if anyone at the table had ever been eye-poked and decided to quit, the unanimous response was, no. Dillashaw concluded by emphasizing that his opinion was based on observation, not personal bias, but his remarks have reignited an ongoing debate about toughness, fighter safety, and public perception in the UFC. Moving on to another news, Daniel Cormier and Chael Sonnen have both come forward to defend Tom Aspinall's controversial decision to stop fighting after suffering an eye poke in his recent bout with Cyril Gane. While some fans and fighters, including TJ Dillashaw and Aljamain Sterling, have suggested that Aspinall may have taken the easy way out, Cormier and Sonnen firmly believe that the heavyweight champion made the right call. During their discussion on ESPN's DC and RC, Cormier emphasized that Aspinall's choice to prioritize his long-term health was not only justified but also commendable. He's got more days ahead of him, Cormier said. You live to fight another day. It's just like when Rainier de Ritter's corner threw in the towel a few weeks ago. Sometimes you have to accept that the smart decision is the one that keeps you healthy enough to come back. Cormier stressed that continuing to fight while impaired, especially as the reigning champion, would have been reckless. If you can't see, and you're the defending champion, you don't fight, he stated firmly. You've got too much to lose. There's a difference between bravery and foolishness. When your vision is compromised, that's not the time to prove your toughness. Chael Sonnen echoed Cormier's perspective, pointing out that fighters are often torn between what appears to be the honorable choice and what is ultimately the smart one. We always try to measure the smart decision versus the honorable decision, Sonnen explained. I remember when Anthony Smith fought John Jones and got hit with an illegal knee. Smith chose to continue and fight on, which was honorable, but it wasn't the smartest choice. He could have taken the win, become champion, and then cashed in big on a rematch. Cormier agreed with Sonnen's analogy, adding that Aspinall's situation was similar. Tom Aspinall made the smart decision, and that upset a lot of people, he said. But the reality is, it was the right decision. He didn't give up. He protected his career. There's a difference. Cormier also reminded fans that fighters have a responsibility not just to entertain but to preserve their health and livelihood. Tom's job is simple, Cormier concluded. He's got one responsibility, to leave that arena with the same title he brought in. That's what champions do. They think long-term. Both analysts agreed that Aspinall's decision, while unpopular among some fans, reflected maturity and awareness. In a sport where courage is often measured by how much punishment a fighter can endure, Cormier and Sonnen praised Aspinall for demonstrating the wisdom to know when enough is enough, ensuring that he'll be ready to fight another day. Moving on to another news, Tom Aspinall's father, Andy Aspinall, has spoken out following the aftermath of UFC 321, providing an emotional and concerning update on his son's condition, as well as addressing recent comments made by UFC President Dana White. According to Andy, Tom's recovery has been slow and worrisome, with significant damage to his vision. Tom still can't see out of his right eye, Andy revealed. Right now, it's just gray. He can't make out anything. His left eye isn't much better. He's only got about 50% vision there. He explained that Tom was taken for a private appointment at Cheadle Hospital to meet with an eye specialist. The specialist basically confirmed what the doctors had already told us before. It's bad. It's not good news, Andy said somberly. He went on to describe the severity of Tom's current condition. His right eye is more swollen than it was immediately after the fight. When they tested his vision, they held up words for him to read, and he just couldn't see them. With his left eye, he managed a few lines, but after 4 letters, it all became a blur. So one eye's completely gone at the moment, and the other is still badly affected. It's really worrying. Andy then turned his attention to Dana White's comments during the UFC 321 post-fight press conference, where White responded to questions about the incident by saying, "Who gives a s?" The statement, which many fans and fighters have since criticized, struck a nerve with Tom's father. If the UFC truly cares about its fighters, they need to take action to stop things like this from happening, Andy said firmly. This sport is dangerous enough as it is. Fighters put their lives and health on the line every time they step into that cage. Eye pokes aren't just accidents anymore. They're serious, career-threatening incidents. He went on to question the organization's attitude toward fighter safety and accountability. What does it take to make an eye poke intentional? Is there even a way to prove that? Andy asked. When the head of the company says he doesn't give a s*******, what kind of message does that send to the athletes? To the fans? To the families who watch their loved ones risk everything? Andy emphasized that the issue of fighter safety should be treated with greater seriousness. If the UFC wants to treat this like an issue, then it'll be an issue, he continued. But if they don't care, nothing's ever going to change. This situation has highlighted, at the very top level of the sport, just how dangerous this can be. If they truly care about people, they'll act. If not, then it shows where their priorities lie. Finally, Andy contrasted his own motivations with those of the industry. "I'm not doing this for money or for shareholders," he said. "I do this because I love the sport and because I want to spend time with my son." A lot of the people commenting online, analysts, ex-fighters, YouTubers, they do it for money. They're entitled to their opinions, but I don't read them, and I don't care. For me, this isn't about clicks or views, it's about my son's health and the future of fighters like him. Andy's words serve as both a heartfelt plea and a stark reminder of the real dangers fighters face beyond the bright lights of the octagon, dangers that demand more respect and accountability from those at the top. Moving on to another news, Strickland has once again taken aim at the UFC, this time calling out the organization over its handling of fighter medical expenses. The criticism came after fellow UFC fighter Bryce Mitchell shared a video revealing that he couldn't afford to see a doctor after breaking his nose during training. In a video posted to Instagram, Mitchell explained that he had suffered a broken nose while sparring in Searcy, Arkansas. "Hey, I'm in Searcy, Arkansas right now. I need my nose straightened out. I just got it broken," Mitchell said, pointing to the visible bend in his nose. "You can tell it's sideways or whatever. But man, the doctors are so expensive. They're like $2,000 or something just to set my nose. Can somebody in Searcy, by the grace of God, please fix my nose back straight for free?" Mitchell's plea was both honest and desperate. He said he couldn't justify spending thousands of dollars on a simple procedure, especially since all it required was to pull it and put it back straight. The video quickly went viral, sparking discussions among fans about fighter pay and healthcare coverage in the UFC. A short time later, Mitchell posted a follow-up video explaining that a friend had successfully fixed his nose for free. "Hey y'all, I'm doing really good," he said with a smile. "I wasn't in any pain at all. For whatever reason, it just didn't hurt. I was mostly worried that it wouldn't go back straight again, but thank the Lord, it did." Mitchell apologized to his followers if he came across as cheap, explaining that his first reaction came from panic. "When that happened, my brain went into survival mode," he said. "All I could think was, this is going to be expensive, thousands of dollars to fix. It's a shame that's where my head went, but it's just how I reacted." He went on to clarify that he has no issue paying medical bills when necessary, even citing past examples. "When I got a big piece of wood stuck in my hand, it cost $600 to get it out, and it was worth every penny," Mitchell recalled. "When I ripped my nuts in half, it was $1,250, and that was the best $1,250 I ever spent. So yeah, I was being a little bit of a cheapskate this time, but thankfully, my buddy Josh King helped me out and saved me $1,000. While Mitchell was grateful for his recovery, Strickland took the opportunity to shine a light on a larger issue. In a comment under Mitchell's video, Strickland blasted the UFC for not providing medical support to fighters unless they have an active fight booked. "Well, I was wrong," Strickland wrote. "You have to have a fight booked to get medical from the UFC. LMAO. What a joke." Strickland's comment reignited the ongoing debate surrounding fighter compensation in healthcare. Many fans and fellow fighters agreed with him, arguing that athletes who risk their health year-round should have access to medical care even when not actively preparing for a fight. The exchange between Mitchell's humility and Strickland's frustration highlights a growing concern within the MMA community. While UFC fighters train constantly and face extreme physical risks, their medical coverage remains limited, and for some, like Bryce Mitchell, that reality can be as painful as the injuries themselves.